In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I booked 49 sales calls for my YouTube agency in the last 30 days alone. And I'm going to walk you exactly, I'm going to show you everything. I'm going to show you what we did to book these calls. I'm going to walk you through the entire process that we have. I'm going to show you literally like everything here. So let's get straight into it. Now, as you can see on those screenshots, like this is currently, notifications with like new events. And you can see the dates are basically from like September 1st up to like August 4th. Now here you can also, as a proof, you have a screenshot from the Calendly. You can see 49 events from 5th of August to 5th of September. Now when I'm recording this, it's 4th of September. The reason why it's those 30 days is because basically some of the calls were booked in advance. So if I just click on the pending or past, like it's not going to show me the relevant data. So I needed to choose a date range here. So how do we book these calls? Again, like all of those calls are with qualified leads and then 90% show up rate. So, well, not all of them, but big chunk of these calls are actually qualified leads, more than like what most people have. Because sometimes agency owners flex those like screenshots that they're booking, 30, 50, 100 sales calls a month, but then the calls are really low quality. Most of these people like cannot even buy what they have, and therefore they end up just like wasting a lot of time on sales calls. That's something that we don't want to do. Like when we book calls, we want to make sure that people actually show up to these calls, and when they show up, that they are actually qualified. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. So the first thing that I have is this YouTube channel. This YouTube channel books really high quality calls. It's not the main source of calls, but it's definitely one of the main source of clients, because even though, as I said, it doesn't book as the most amount of calls, the calls booked from YouTube are usually, pretty like pre-sold. A lot of people are pre-qualified. They are nurtured with the content. So then it's kind of like easy, when they join a call that they actually, they actually want to become clients basically. Now here, the process is really simple, but the devil is in the details in terms of like what we do specifically to like grow and book these calls. But talking about this, just the strategy, I post 2 long form videos a week. And what's funny is that during this time period, I was busy with some things and I wasn't that, consistent as I was in the previous months, yet still were able to get good results. Just because a lot of the time YouTube is evergreen. So some of the videos that I posted like even a few months back, like they still work for me, they still book calls, they still bring in clients. Now, so what we do on the content part is we do 2 long form videos. I'm not doing short form. Like with some of our clients, we do short form, when we work for our clients, helping them grow their YouTube channels and get more clients from that. But here in my case, I just focus on creating long form videos and trying to stick to the 2 long form videos a week. And then I also leverage YouTube community tab. So the way it works on YouTube is like I put maybe 2 hours a week into that, because I'm actually a client of my agency, so they handle everything for me. Like my team handles everything for me, from the video ADS research to posting the content to editing, thumbnail design, YouTube SEO, like all of those things. So I don't really have to do anything on that side. And then I'm doing the YouTube community tab, but again, a lot of the times this content is just repurposed from LinkedIn, Twitter, other platforms where I create content. And that is something that also is quite like working quite well in terms of booking calls. Something that not a lot of people leverage is the YouTube community tab. Just because it actually is something that stands out. Like when people go to their subscriptions tab on YouTube, something that really stands out is actually this like text plus photo based type of posts. Because when people just see a lot of videos and then they see a post on YouTube, like it actually stands out and helps us book more calls. So I'm doing a mix of some value posts along with some call to action. If you want, you can just go to my community tab after watching this video and see what I'm doing here. But again, like every time we post a direct call to action post, we pretty much get a call booked from that. So that's working quite well, and process is really simple, but I'm gonna go into like the whole stuff here. Now, second thing that we have in place is our outbound strategy, and that's something like we were a bit behind on the outbound. Like I believe you should always kind of combine different outreach methods, because like every acquisition method makes the other one perform better. So that's what we do right now. Is we do a bit of cold emails and then also a bit of like a LinkedIn outbound as well. So we're doing both, around 1,000 highly targeted leads a week between 2 of those, because I don't believe in the in the email strategy where you just send a bunch of emails to unqualified people and then you book a lot of calls that are not qualified, again, something I just mentioned. So what we do is we send emails to highly targeted lead lists, highly targeted prospects, so that every time we book a call from those leads, it's someone that actually wants to is a potential client. Now we have a very simple structure to those emails, so it's actually working surprisingly well. Even though as the open rates were affected a bit with the all the Gmail updates, the policy changes, all those things. We don't have the best open rate, I would say, like around 40%. And like here I turned on the open rate tracking, so it affected the performance here a bit. And then we sent, here it says for 6.3, but it also counts follow-ups in here. So like new leads contacted, it was probably around like 2,000 or 3,000. But yeah, right now we try to send 1,000 highly targeted, like reach 1,000 highly targeted leads a week. Reply rate is pretty solid, and the amount of like positive replies is also looking pretty good. Now, what we do is we do have really, like, firstly, we do a targeted outreach, and then second, we lead with value. So it's never just us trying to get someone on a call. It's basically us proposing someone to see like a Loom video with just, where we just give a lot of value to them. And then I have a team member managing the system right now, so I don't really have to do anything on that side as well, like not that much. So here I spent 2 hours, here almost nothing. And funnily enough, I spent the most amount of time probably right now doing like those other sources that I have, which is generating the least amount of calls. So, the Pareto principle applies. But again, it's something that I still feel like it's really, really important, because there's a few things that we're doing on that side. 2 emails a week to the newsletter. So I have an email list. It's not big. It's around 500 people right now. Of course, like it grows. I started doing some LinkedIn organic, me and my partner, and then Twitter content. What is interesting is that with all of these outreach methods, it all kind of revolves around YouTube. And I'm going to show you that in more details in a second, but it all kind of revolves around YouTube, because with Outbound, we use a lot of YouTube videos. We use YouTube videos for follow-ups. Sometimes we use YouTube videos in the campaigns as well. With other sources like Twitter, I share my YouTube videos here. We use YouTube videos as lead magnets. As you can see, here's an example. LinkedIn post, simple LinkedIn post with a lead magnet asking people if they want to see a video. And then 371 comments here, so around like 180 comments from like people, wanting to see the video. So then we can have the conversations with them. And actually this one post turned into like 10 calls booked. So it can work really, really well. And then also with the newsletter, I'm basically just sharing YouTube videos. So it's a simple email, like here's just like a small part of that. I didn't put like a screenshot of the whole email, and then I share YouTube videos in there. So then again, people go from my newsletter to my YouTube content, and then they watch the content, and they decide to book a call with me. So that's really, really simple process. So that's what we do. That's what we do basically. Like those are the 3 methods. There's more things here that we do, but those are the things that book ask quite a lot of calls with those qualified traffic. Now here how it works. I call it like a client acquisition funnel, but it's more so like a flywheel structure, and I'm going to show you in a second how it works. But for top of the funnel, we mainly do like Twitter. I'm not really consistent with it. I wouldn't say it like brings me the best results. Like we got some leads and like some clients from Twitter, but it's not the main platform that I'm focusing on right now. Same with LinkedIn. Like we're doing a bit of organic, but and a lot of like outbound here, but again, it's not something that I focus on mostly. Like my main focus is on like making outbound work and then creating valuable YouTube videos. And then on top of that, like writing the newsletter, combining it with YouTube. But again, as I said, it kind of all revolves around YouTube, because technically this is top of the funnel. But a lot of the times YouTube like kind of also counts into the top of the funnel as well. A lot of the times though, these people, like for example, we do outbound, we do cold email, but then people book from YouTube. So it's surprising, that people check my email, and then they decide to do some research. They come across my YouTube channel, or even like mention that I have a YouTube channel in my emails, and then they decide to check the YouTube content. They watch some videos, and then they decide to book a call. So you should never look at your client acquisition in a very linear way. Or like someone discovers me on Instagram, they're gonna go then to YouTube, and then they're gonna become a client, because it's not as simple as that. Like sometimes there's more steps needed here. Sometimes, people will find you on YouTube, then convert on Instagram. Sometimes from Instagram, then convert on YouTube. So that's why I'm also like not showing you exactly like how many calls we booked from every channel. Because as I said, it doesn't really make sense to even track that. It's hard to track that, because sometimes people get a cold email and then they book from YouTube. Sometimes they find me through YouTube and then I reach out to them with cold email. Like that happened as well. Sometimes they come in from Twitter, they go to my YouTube channel, then they land on my newsletter, and then the newsletter makes them book a call and become a client. So it's really like more like a flywheel, which I'm going to show you in a second. But to make things simpler, I just kind of try to put it into this like funnel perspective, just so you can see how it works. So we have those methods, and as I said, a lot of times all of these work together pretty much. And then a lot of the times what converts these leads, like what nurtures and converts them, is YouTube. So like the YouTube content here, long form content, is the king when it comes to building trust and actually converting people. So that's the main thing that we have. And then a lot of the times people go from YouTube directly to book a call, or if not, they go to our funnel, they land on the newsletter, and then the newsletter is the one, if they are on the newsletter for a month, 2, 3, 6, they constantly are getting emails with value, with sharing like YouTube videos, client wins, things like that. Like that's something that works really good for nurturing the prospects that are not ready to buy right now, and that then ends up buying later. So that's what we have. But as you can see, like this is the traffic and nurturing conversions, and this is pretty much just for nurturing and conversions because we're not getting like, top of the funnel traffic with newsletter, obviously. And then the way it really works, as I said, is kind of more like a flywheel. So we have, we do outbound, but then people come to YouTube, then they do go to newsletter. Sometimes they land on the LinkedIn or Twitter then, and then really like in the middle of that is like how we book more calls and get more clients. So it's really just a combination of all of those things. And I'm sure that if we take away one thing, we don't only lose the calls that we booked from that, like for example, if I take away YouTube channel, not only I will lose the calls that I booked from YouTube, I will also miss out on some calls here. I will also miss out on calls here because basically it all works together. It's all connected. Every other client acquisition method makes the other one performs better. So if you just rely on one channel, you're probably limiting yourself. Like if you're just trying to grow on Twitter and get clients from that, you're limiting yourself. If you're just doing that on LinkedIn, cold emails, if you're just relying on referrals, you're limiting yourself. You should really be focusing on building multiple platforms, building your presence on, like multiple platforms, so like LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. And then on top of that, having a good outbound strategy, which you can then use YouTube content to make it work better, basically. So that's the whole strategy. Now, if you're interested in like booking more calls for YouTube and basically like building your systems in the agency so you can book calls like that with minimum time effort spent, because literally, as I told you, here I spend 2 hours a week, here I spend almost 0 hours a week, some like only calls with team members. And here again, I also have systems and processes for that my team members implement. If you want to book more calls for your agency, coaching, consulting offer, go ahead and down below you can book a call directly with me. Or if you're not ready yet, there's a second link where you can basically check out the process that we implement for our clients and how we help them leverage YouTube and content to get more clients and scale. So whether you run an e-com agency, whether you run an email marketing agency, whether it's content agency, if you want to book more calls, if you want to get more clients, check out the links below, book a call. Or if you're not ready yet, go check out the other links in the description, or simply subscribe to the channel for more content and watch this video next, where I show you exactly how we helped one of our clients get over 30 clients in just 12 months for his agency.